Hi, I'm author Lin Lustig, and I want art in my books, so I'm drawing it. Come see. Bonjour, mes amis! That's right. Hello, friends. That was French for you. That's all I know. No, I'm kidding. I actually know a fair bit more, but I haven't been studying a lot lately. It has freed up so much brain space to do more book stuff and more art stuff. I am absolutely floored and also kind of disappointed because it means that my skills in French are not only no longer improving, but honestly, they're probably going to regress a bit. So I need to find a balance where I can at least maintain what I know and maintain art stuff. But it does get really frustrating when someone that's been for, a year is way better than me after studying for 2 years. And I think we all have situations like that where here we are, we're really dedicated to this one thing that we're doing and we're really in it. And then we find someone that's just naturally much better and hasn't had to put in the kind of work that we've had to put in. And that comparisonitis is just absolutely a killer. It is a big thing, of course, in the author world because you have such a massive disparity between some of the books that just never get seen. And then you have the multimillionaires. Every time I tell someone I'm an author, they're like, oh, so you're going to be the next JK? And it's like, I'm going to be the next to kick you. I don't know. The answer generally is no, I'm not going to be the next JK. She is like 1 in a billion in a billion. Those are the really rare cases where you get the Stephen Kings and these people that absolutely redefine pop culture. So no, I don't expect my chibis to do that. I do expect them to entertain and tickle your brain though, so that's the goal. But back to that comparing to other people, it is so hard to step back and realize that you have your own skill sets and your own things that regardless of your perceived idea that theirs is quote unquote better, yours is still amazing in its own way. I'm saying this more to myself than probably anybody else, but I know I need to hear it, therefore I'm going to guess some of you need to hear it too. Because there are a lot of limiting beliefs that come with art. Art is so subjective and it is so personal. And there are billions of people on this planet, so there are a lot of different viewpoints, different experiences, different minds that come into play. So the fact that I might draw anything that you enjoy or you relate to is kind of amazing. Take my drawings, for example. Okay. So I think I said earlier that I had just finished doing some art for my book covers. Again, nothing too crazy, nothing too complex. I got to experiment with some quote unquote special effects in the lines and shiny and, it was super fun. I loved doing it and would happily do it again. However, literally finished the final one, woke up the next morning, hopped on social media, which is always a mistake in my life, and immediately found a friend that had just published her first book. She designed the cover. She did everything herself, as not unusual with self-publishing, but her cover was so good. And I just looked at that and immediately felt awful about this thing that I had worked so hard on and was previously quite proud of. Luckily, I was able to recognize that and then compensate. Sometimes when you catch yourself in those thoughts and those negative spirals, you can break yourself back out of them. And so I'm fine. Don't worry. I still love my book covers. I'm still really proud of the work that I put into them. But it is hard to pick yourself up like that, especially when you have goals that are probably somewhere along the same tracks as a lot of the people that you're spending time around and that you're watching carefully and trying to learn from. There are all these markers of success that we can chase after. But the biggest one tends to be numbers, and by numbers, I mean more specifically money. Money is always what people come back to for quote-unquote success. And that's really hard because that is a metric people understand. That is a metric that society as a whole has already put a certain amount of importance on. And it's really hard when, honestly, you don't make any. I try and look at other numbers instead, like the number of followers I have, the number of views my video gets, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that also does not define my success. My success was that feeling after I finished that final book cover, when I got to look at all 4 of them together and go, holy crap, I did that. That is so cool. That was a better feeling than any number of followers that I have gotten in the past couple months, because that gave me that sense of self-fulfillment. I was proud of myself. And much like whenever I do a chibi, it was fun. We cannot discount the amount of joy that just goes into these things. And I've forgotten that. It's so easy to forget sometimes. This is supposed to be a passion. This is supposed to be a fun thing to do. And now that I've combined it with writing my books, it is just amazing. Even today, I sat down after a week of just being really reluctant to put words on the page, to sit at the computer, to actually make it happen. But today, after finishing those book covers and realizing that I'm kind of awesome in my own way, I sat down and started writing no problem. I started having fun again. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to get down on myself or judge myself compared to a friend or look at their numbers of success and that mine are so bad and therefore I am bad, because that is a stupid thing to think, and I know it is, but boy does the brain not really catch on to that. So my worth is not in those numbers. Your worth is not in any numbers. Our worth is in, I would say, the joy that we have and the joy that we can give. And I know from a variety of comments that my very goofy nature has a tendency to make people smile. I guess if that's all I do, it's okay. And it's only okay because I get to live off the coattails of my husband, who has an actual paying job. I, however, am in a position where I'm not legally able to work in this country, so here I am, doing this instead. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just have fun with whatever you're doing. Don't get bogged down in numbers and other people's demands and what they expect. I know that's so much easier said than done. And I know that right now I'm in a position where I was able to do it successfully, and that does feel amazing, but I totally recognize that that's not always going to be the case. But for now, hang in there. And thanks for coming to hang out and listen to me ramble once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back soon, guys. All right, see ya.